Hi, I'm the CEO here at Social Garden. I'm with our property director, Nick Sproul. And today we're going to talk about customer journey alignment. And really what we're talking about there is looking back 20 years ago, most sales experiences were really created the same, where a prospect would be ready to enter the market, then they would engage a real estate agent or turn up at a display suite. Whereas now, customers are entering the customer journey at all different stages through all different channels. So whether they're kind of just entering the research stage, or they're kind of mid-funnel, or they are at that sales end, each experience is really different and what they're looking for is really different. So we're going to talk about how we can leverage that to drive competitive advantage and increase sales conversion rates. So Nick, with this kind of changing landscape in mind, how can developers and real estate agents use that to drive competitive advantage?
Yeah, sure. Look, I think first it comes down to a mindset change, because the property market's always been get minimal information as possible, get the lead in the door, don't try to ask for too much, because the more you ask for, the more they'll walk away. Whereas the reality is that customers are happy to provide you more of those, those classic intent markers of things like, when we want to purchase, what is the status of our land if you're a home builder, where are we at with finance? But in return, they'll want that personalized experience. So, 60% of people are filling out our profiling pages asking that intent data. So people will provide that data. The flip side of that as well is that around 70% of people have actively said in recent studies they'll walk away if they don't get the personalized experience in return. So the environment developers are operating in now is providing the environment to ask for and get and run personalized information.
Yeah, I think where we start a lot of the time with clients is really making the definition between what's a marketing qualified lead and what's a sales qualified lead. And often we see that in the marketing qualified lead is when they're still in that really gathering that research and they're not ready to engage with the salesperson. They do want to know that you're there and they do want to make sure that all this information that they're receiving is personalized to them based on their stage of their journey and their preference and the like.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a really good point, Mike, because that's the classic starting point for understanding where you're at on that customer journey piece, because typically where we start these conversations with clients they're very sales lead focused, and there's really no ecosystem in place for how do I differentiate between a sales qualified lead and a marketing qualified lead, and if I do, what do I do with a marketing qualified lead? Yeah,
and some of the key indicators that customer experience piece isn't quite right are things like negative product reviews online for developers. It's things like friction between the salesperson getting too many leads and complaining the lead quality isn't quite there. The reality of the situation is that the prospects are at different stages of the journey. And because they're being treated like, buy right now, that creates friction, both for the salesperson and also for the consumer who feels like they've been given the hard sell.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other side of it as well is that when sales is the only focus of the journey, what happens is so many leads get discarded, and therefore so many leads need to come back into the top of the funnel to make way for those other leads. And therefore it's actually a really inefficient use of marketing budget to actually just keep constantly pouring new activity into the top, where you could balance it between nurturing the leads you have and converting them and also bringing new ones in as well. So there's some really good benefits to the business in having that approach.
I mean, it's a good time to be doing it as well now, because so many developers are really burning those leads that are at the early stages.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes that revenue modeling piece so fantastic as well, because you really understand where people are at in each stage of the cycle and how to actually move people through it effectively and efficiently.
Yeah, so to help all the viewers out, what we've done is created a simple framework that you can download. It kind of outlines where you're at now, where you'd like to get to. It really forms a good basis to kind of develop a roadmap to get to that new customer experience. So thanks very much and hope you enjoyed the download. Cheers.